Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. This is going to be a very, you guys type your questions. I've got everybody muted. And so you type your questions in the chat bar if you have them while I talk, and I will answer them at the end. And definitely just feel free to ask me whatever. I'm not going to take a huge amount of time. This should take like no more than like 30 minutes. So, but I wanted to share with you one of the tools that I use in my business to help me find people and how to help me find my people, honestly. Because I think there are so many different ways that you can recruit people. And I think we all do it a different way, and a different way works for all of us. So I'm just sharing with you one of the things that does work for me. But welcome to the call. Congrats. If you're on this call, it's because you've recruited at least one coach this month, which is absolutely the goal. We're trying to teach you guys to get outside your comfort zone, to talk more about coaching, to reach out, to be bold. And so I hope that you guys are doing that and you're seeing the growth, because just like anything else, just like in fitness, this is talking about coaching, recruiting coaching, running coaching opportunity calls, sneak peeks, however you do it. Inviting people is a muscle that has to be worked. It has to be developed. You have to practice. And if you stick with it and you don't give up after the first 2 or 3 no's, you're going to find that people will join your team. I promise you that. So just to tell you a little bit about my business, I am a 3-star diamond coach. I've been a coach for 4 years, and I did not do anything on my own in regards to recruiting coaches for 1.5 years. And my business did not grow. I hit diamond 5 or 6 months. And then after that, I dropped once, which I say I never should have done that. And I don't want you guys to ever drop when you hit diamond. So bank it, back it up. But you've got to find working coaches. And I was so intimidated. I made excuses, said I work full time. I can't train people. Like, I'm not capable of leading coaches. And so I waited far too long to actually start recruiting coaches. So I got to a point 1.5 years into my business where it was rolling over from 2015 to 16, and I was stagnant. I was stuck. I was bored. And I knew that if I did not start growing my team, I was going to quit altogether, and I did not want to quit. So in January of 2016, I committed to running a sneak peek and hosting a business opportunity call every single month. And recruit coaches. Now, I did work full time, which I know a lot of people go elite and just crush goals. That I have never been that super fast builder. I've never desired that, but I did go 3-star that year. And so like this helped me find people and helped me find my people. Okay. So this is a resource that I am sharing with you. I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and go ahead and kick it off. So how to host, I'm going to talk to you guys about hosting your own business opportunity call. Now, let me just be honest with you. My coach taught us to run sneak peeks, like 5-day, 3-day sneak peeks in Facebook. And that works really well for her. And she also did the coaching opportunity call. So I hate sneak peeks on Facebook. Like, I never have very much success with them. I do find people from time to time doing it that way, but I've really pulled away from that. And I've leaned more toward just hosting these calls or sharing the recording of these calls with people that I have conversations with. And so like, I don't love Facebook sneak peeks. I feel like they're boring. I don't feel like the go-getters really get in there and watch and listen. I think they move too slow. Even if you do it all in one day, I like these business opportunity calls because I can do it all one big bang, share everything that I want to share my personality, and people get who I am. And if they watch the whole stinking call, then they are my people, right? Okay. So, and some of the reasons that I host these calls, one, it is something to invite people to. And we all know that like with challenge groups, we have a start date, right? We have a cutoff date. We tell people I'm taking 5 people before August 20th, right? And so this is kind of the same thing. It's an event to invite people to. And now, obviously, like I don't just recruit people through these calls. They don't come and listen and boom, sign up. But it does give me something to invite people to with a date, like a start by date, okay? And it also gives my team something to invite to, because I do have those coaches who are not, they're new, they're not hosting their own business opportunity calls, they don't know what to say. They come to a couple of mine, they invite people to mine, they listen, they learn, they make their notes, and they run their own, okay? So it's a service to my team as well. These calls give me an opportunity to just be myself and to get really excited about what I do, to let people hear my voice, to see my face, to see some pictures of my family, and just hear my story in a little bit deeper way, all right? So it does allow your personality to shine through whenever you get on a call and you talk to people. And I find that I personally respond well to that. That's one of the reasons I signed up with my coach. And so like my people most likely will respond to that as well. Like I said, I can lay everything out at one time. It's like sitting down and having a conversation with people, and it just gives them all the information that they need about coaching all at once in one place. They can listen to it again if they want to, and that allows me to just kind of knock it out in one bang. Like I said, I let my team, I invite my team to invite people to these calls as well. I'm going to share more about that in just a minute. This is a huge piece for me. It is a shareable resource. So guys, let me tell you, when I started hosting my business opportunity calls, like there were months, and I mean months, 5, 6, 7 months out of a whole year where nobody showed up. Or maybe the only people that showed up were the people who were already on my team, okay? But you know what? I didn't quit. Like I didn't say, forget it, that didn't work, like I'm not doing it anymore. I did it every single month, and I still can continue to do it every single month because nothing works the first time. You may be really lucky, but you have to keep talking, just like with the fitness and the challenge groups. You have to run a challenge group every single month to build credibility. You have to talk about fitness every single day, every single week. You have to make those coaching or those challenge group posts. Same way with coaching. I committed to running these calls every month, and I told myself I'm going to do it for 12 months in the year of 2016, and I did it. I got more comfortable. People started to see that I was doing it every month. I wasn't going away. I started to share when people would sign up for my team. And so it became something that just made me more consistent. It got me more comfortable talking about coaching, sharing my coaching story. Because I'll tell you, in a year and a half, I was really comfortable talking about fitness, talking about challenge groups, but I had to get outside my comfort zone and start talking about coaching. And there's nothing that will do that than getting on a live call, recording it, and knowing that you can't stop it because people are watching, okay? And so that really helped me get outside my comfort zone. But I recorded every single one. And you know what? The bad ones, I just tossed aside. And when I got another good one, I would record it. I would upload it to YouTube. And every time that I talked to someone and we got to that point in the conversation that they were like, yeah, tell me more. I want to know more about coaching. I would just send them a recording of the video and they would watch it, and then we would have a conversation. So I use these calls all the time. Like I recruit all month long. I'm in conversations with people all month long. And if they tell me that they want more information, and I know they're at that point where they really need to know the details about coaching, then I share this video like from a coaching opportunity call I did last month or the month before. I just picked my favorite, honestly. And I also, one of the things that I've come to find out is that if someone is willing to take time out of their day, whether it be lunchtime or 8 o'clock at night, and they're willing to sit there and listen to a call and then ask you questions about it, then they're willing to learn about coaching. They're willing to come into a coach training group, and they're willing to go through the resources, to watch the trainings, to apply them, to ask you questions. And so for me personally, it just sort of weeds out those people who say they want to learn about coaching, but they never actually do anything to learn about coaching, okay? So I've found that to help me a whole lot too. And now that's not to say I've had people join my team and be killer coaches and they never watch the video. But the majority of the people that watch the video, they get my vibe, they learn what it's about, they have all the details, they ask me a couple questions and they sign up, then I know that they are going into coaching with all the information that they need, and they are somebody that is teachable and willing to take a minute to invest in their business, all right? So those are some of the reasons why I host these calls every month. So to get started, and this is what I'm challenging you to do if you're going to run your own call, which I think you should at least try it. I sit down every single month and I make a plan for my month. Like I planned out August. I knew exactly when I was going to host these calls. I knew when my challenge group started. I knew whenever I was going to post about these things in stories. I make out a plan. So you have to pick a date that you're going to host your call. You know what nights are the best for you, what nights are busiest. I don't typically host these calls a whole lot like on Wednesday nights, because for us, like, and a lot of people that would relate to me, that's a church night, a Sunday night. That wouldn't work. So I usually pick like a Tuesday or a Thursday night. I do them at lunch now that I am home more. So I did host one last week at lunchtime called a lunch and learn, call it whatever you want to. But pick a date, pick a time, write it down, and you have to stick with it, okay? Because it's going to be really tempting to say, okay, like I've been talking about coaching, I've invited people, but I haven't had anybody commit to the call. You sit your butt down in that chair, you hit record, and you do it anyways, okay? And so then you have that shareable resource, and you've gotten to practice without the pressure of anybody watching you, which is kind of glorious, although you do want people on the call, right? So pick a date, stick to it. Decide, like, do you have a team yet? If you have a team, do you want to open this to your whole team and let them invite people too? Even if it's just one other coach, do you want to let them invite people to listen to the call as well? Okay. Do you want to just do it by yourself? I'll tell you, I do at least one live call by myself every single month, and then I offer one for my team as well. It's called a team meet and greet, and we actually have one Thursday night where it will be just like I'll choose a couple people for my team to actually speak on that call and introduce themselves, maybe share a little bit about coaching, but it'll be open for everyone to invite to, so that I'm giving them something to invite to, so they can't say that they didn't know what to do. I want to provide that service for my team so they can grow as well, and teach them how to recruit and to put their stories out there. One of the things that I do every single month when I host these calls is that I still use Facebook events. That works really well for me. I can use it kind of as a buffer, kind of as a holding place to actually click invite and invite somebody I've been talking to or somebody I've wanted to invite to learn more about coaching. And so I invite them and they get a notification, and then I follow it up with a private message, and I say, hey girl, like I have to tell you, you're like one of my dream team members, or you're in our challenge group and you're killing it. And I think you would make a great coach, and you could do what you're doing in our challenge group and earn money and inspire people. And I want you to come and learn more about it. I'm actually hosting this live call on Thursday night, and I would love for you to come and listen and ask questions and just tell me if you think this is something that would fit for you right now. Okay, so I create an event page on Facebook. I use it to invite people, tell part of my story, tell when the call is going to be. I put the link in there, and I also put a link to my private Facebook group that I do have as an informational group for people who want to learn more about coaching. And I invite to this call, I invite to this event every single day on Instagram, on Facebook. I'm making coaching posts all throughout the month. So some days I designate for going back and looking at who watched my stories, who watched and who liked that post about coaching. And I'll go and click on those people. Guys, social media is a social place. People come to social media to interact. So if they are liking my posts, if they're commenting, if they're watching my stories, I view that as an open door to say, hey, thanks for the love. Are you interested in the business or just the fitness side of it? And that's just a way for me to easily invite people to come and listen to this call. Okay. I share the link. It's either in my link tree on Instagram, or I'll put the link on my Facebook post in there to the event page. And so I'm putting that link out there every single day and getting people responding to it in some way or another. And again, if you commit to doing this, I have to say, like, don't do it 1 month and then quit. Do it, commit to like 6 months, 8 months, 12 months of hosting a call and just see what happens. You're going to get more confident. You're going to get more comfortable sharing. the people who join your team are going to learn how to do it as well. It's going to teach them how to talk about coaching, and you are going to probably end up having a whole lot more fun doing the call, and not you at the beginning. If you haven't done one, it's going to be awkward. It's going to be, you're going to feel tight and you're going to feel wound up, but you'll get more comfortable. And people love when you have fun. People love when you get excited. People want to hear that energy, that excitement in your voice. Even if they're watching the recording, it doesn't matter. It will give people a glimpse into who you are and what type of leader and partner in this business that you are going to be. Okay. So you just format really quickly. Like, you can choose to have slides. I've done calls with slides where I have this, they're pre-made. They talk about coaching. They have pictures of me. They show me posting on social media, share some details about the different levels of coaching. You can do it no slides. Our team meet and greet, we haven't been doing slides, and it just gives us an opportunity just to talk, to share, to interact with each other. So you can choose what format you want to do it. You can play with it, do it different ways each month, or do 2 different calls a month. I don't care. Just try it and see what works for you. Tag team. If you don't want to do one by yourself, team up with somebody else on your team or not. I've done coaching opportunity calls with people who were like in my coach's downline, but we weren't like directly under each other. And it was fun. It takes the pressure off a little bit, and it's fun to interact with people. This is a picture that I made for my event page on Facebook, and it just shows me, shows obviously me working the business, and it shows the members from my team from one of the retreats we had recently. Okay. So what actually is the call about? Obviously it's about coaching, but like, what do I share? What do I talk about? I try not to have like an hour-long call, although it can go kind of long. But again, putting everything that people need into this one call. If they're watching a recording, they can pause it and come back to it. And so I always definitely obviously tell who I am. I tell my story. I tell about how I got started. I talk about my faith. I talk about why I coach. I talk about tell them, I'm like, okay, so this is my story. This is who I'm looking for. And I am going to break this call down into these different points. And it's going to be who I am, what I do as a coach, who I'm looking for. I always address the worries, the fears, the common misconceptions that I always hear from people. I talk about the money. I share with them about the training and the rewards and the things that they can expect if they join our team and how to get started. So I have become, didn't always start this way. I always used to like kind of make it sound fluffy and fun and emotional, but I really realized that I was getting those type of people who just wanted to come in it for the feel good part of it. Well, I want people who are going to work. Okay. I want people who are going to understand that this is a business that you run. Like, I am not going to run anybody's business. And so I really started to change my wording and my verbiage and how I talk to people in this call. Some simple things, like instead of saying, if you become a coach, I would say things like, when you become a coach, instead of saying you might join Coach University, I would say you're going to join Coach University and you're going to start implementing the things that we teach you. You're going to make your coach announcement. And so changing the way that I talk to people and really relaying what I expect from people as a coach really started to change the type of people that I got that came into the business. All right. So who I am, I really explained that I have worked really hard, even if it was in an hour a day or if it was 6 hours a day. I work really hard. I'm very intentional, and I always go into it with a plan. Okay. So again, I want to communicate the fact that this does take work. I share what I do as a coach. I share how I've made it work with a full-time job, and now how I make it work that I don't work full-time. And I tell who I'm looking for. I'm looking for go-getters. I'm looking for people that love health and fitness. I'm looking for people that want to be healthy and take care of themselves, as well as help other people and be a cheerleader and set aside time to work this business. When I address the common misconceptions or fears that people have, I go all in. I mean, I talk about the fact that people think they have to be a health and fitness expert. I talk about the fact that people come into it and say, I don't have a large social media following. I'm shy. I don't want to post a lot. I don't want to be a salesy person. You know, people who say, I'm kind of worried about what everybody in my community will think about me. I don't have time to do this. I'm not very interesting. Those are kind of the main points that I address when I talk about the fears and the misconceptions. And I tell my story. Like I tell my story with every single one, because honestly, most of us have felt or thought all of those things that I just shared. And I overcome those objections before they even get a chance to say it to me, okay? And so that's what I really like to do, and that works well. I talk about the money, talk about how we earn. I ask them to think about what their financial future would look like if they could do whatever they wanted to with this business. You know, I put that disclaimer in there. Beachbody's not going to guarantee you an income. You have to work for it. But that's really a good thing. That's not a scary thing. That's like a freedom thing. The more you work, the smarter you work, the more you plug into the trainings, then the better you become at this business, and the more people you help and the more income that you earn. And so I tell them about how we earn. I talk about enrolling 3 people every single month and then duplicating that and teaching other coaches to do that. I talk about the rewards. I talk about the monthly incentives, the trips, all that stuff. And then I tell them how much it costs for them to get started. Obviously, we have people from US, from Canada, from the UK. I break it down that way. And I just tell them straight up, your business investment is food and access to workouts. All right. So like, hopefully you're going to work out anyways. I know you're going to eat. So you don't have inventory. You don't have to ship anything to people. Like, your business investment is $160, $170. And you've just started a business that could become so much more than that. All right. So I really, I'm not sugarcoating anything. I'm just telling the truth. And all throughout the call, I'm reiterating that it's something that it's a job. You have to work at it, but it's kind of like the sky's the limit kind of job if you really come into it and you commit to it. I talk about our team and tell them that they get access to a self-paced training. We do have like training calls for new coaches. We have our team calls. I really play up like our team and how great we are, the community, the support. And again, I stress that, you still work your business. It's your business, but we are there to support you, to cheer you on, to give you all the training that you need, and you implement it. And that's how you grow your business. I tell them about the different ways to get started. They can either be a discount coach or a business building coach at whatever level that they want to start. And then I just wrap it up with saying, basically get in touch with the person that contacted you or invited you here, get signed up. And I always I use this language. You're going to enroll with the challenge pack. You're going to contact the coach who invited you here. You're going to plug into your coach training, and you're going to make your coach announcement, and you're going to start your business that way. I talk to them like I just assume that they're going to do it. All right. I do the same thing with my challengers, my future challengers, people I'm in conversation with. I always talk to them like they're just going to do it. If they don't, that's okay. They'll probably do it later. But the same way with coaching, it's a little bit scary. We know that. And so if I'm confident, it makes other people more confident, okay? And so I just really and truly had to just do it. Like, I hated hosting these calls in the beginning because it is not my personality. It's not my personality to be bold, to talk loudly, to get excited about things on video. But the more I did it, the more I grew to love it. And I just got really bold in telling my story. And when I got bold in telling my story here, I got bold in telling my story in private conversations. I got bold in telling my story in my posts. And it took practice. It will take you practice if you decide to do this and make this part of your business, but it will get better. It will get easier. And you can then tell your future team members about how you overcame your fear and you just did it. And you can explain how you got started, the fears that you had, and what it did. Like I said before, try different times of the day. Like if you are a stay-at-home mom, and you probably will attract other stay-at-home moms, do a coach call at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I don't know. I don't have small kids anymore, but like they do go off to school, so I couldn't do it then. You do it like 10 o'clock in the morning or lunchtime. I would never do it at 3 o'clock because that's when my kids get out of school. I wouldn't do it between 3 and like 8 o'clock because that's whenever we have sports and dinner and all that stuff. So just think about your niche. Think about what time would work. I've heard of coaches doing these on Saturday morning because that's when people are home and the kids are running around and it doesn't matter. Like if my kids are running around when I'm doing a call, it just shows that I'm real. It just shows I work this business with my family by my side. Okay, so think about when you can do it. Try different times. Always, always, always record it and use it as a shareable tool. 9 times out of 10, a coach watches the recording instead of being on the call live. But there are those people that do make it to the call. They listen, they ask questions, they watch the recording again, because like me, I got on my coach's live call and then I actually watched it 2 or 3 more times before I ever decided that I was going to join. So I have to expect that my people will do that too. All right. Okay. And so that is what I have. I told you it was going to be short. How long were those first ones? Are they shorter? I don't really remember, to be honest. They were probably pretty short. I didn't have my stuff together then, really. What I did the first couple of times was I just listened to my coach's calls and I like wrote down everything she said word for word. And so it just wasn't really me, you know, like I told it the way she tells it, but then the more I did it, I started to insert my personality, more of my story. And I had to learn how to get more assertive and to just be really direct when I was talking about it. Or those Zoom biz calls. Instagram Lives. Never thought about that. That's a good idea. Yeah, they are usually either a Zoom call or I make a YouTube event. I really like to do a YouTube event because you just start it, it automatically records it and uploads it. So if I'm sharing that YouTube link before, it's the same link that will work afterwards. So that works really well for me. Okay, so does that, here, you guys, I'm just going to unmute you guys. If anybody has questions, you guys can ask. But that's how I do it. That's what I do. Now, I'll say it's really hard to get my team to start doing these, like, because I tend to attract people that are like me, a little hesitant, a little shy, not, you know, that's not their jam. But if I can get coaches to start doing them, they continue to do them, and that's how they recruit. So, anybody have questions about that? Sometimes I use slides, sometimes I don't. Like I said, it just depends on kind of how I feel, who's watching. I've done a whole one before where I thought I shared my screen and I didn't. And people were like I had a lot of people on there and they were messaging me and I couldn't see it because I had my screen shared. And they were like, okay, we never saw you, but that was a great call. So see, it doesn't have to be perfect. People will catch your voice. They'll catch your energy. All right, y'all don't have any questions? Do you have a plan for this week? Is everybody ready to rock it? Yes, coaching post ready to go. You got your list of people you're going to invite. Another thing I will say, I meant to share this and I forgot. I also have a 15-minute, like, what is coaching video. I just recorded it, put it on YouTube. So if somebody asks me, if I invite them and they say, yes, they want to learn more about coaching, I'm not going to send them this 45-minute long video where I go into all the details. Like, that's just not smart. So I have this 15-minute video that's what is coaching, a little bit of my story, you know, what I do every single day as a coach, talks about my challenge groups and recruiting people to build a business too. And I send them that. And if they say, okay, yeah, I watched it, that's great, can I have more information? Then I send them this longer video. I do have 2. But the first one was not recorded live. It's just like me recording on YouTube. And that works really well for me too. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, thanks for showing up. We're rooting for you. We're excited for you. You are so welcome. You're so welcome. All right, I'll share the recording too. All right, bye.